Are electric cars better than conventional gas cars? Global warming is a current global issue that affects everyone. It is a result of releasing emissions and greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and cars are one of the biggest contributors to global warming. And so it's no surprise that inventions like electric cars have been created to try and combat global warming. So, how does global warming work?
Know it well. The sun's radiation comes in the form of light waves, and that heats up the Earth. And then some of the radiation that is absorbed and warms the Earth is re-radiated back into space in the form of infrared radiation. And some of the outgoing infrared radiation is trapped by this layer of atmosphere and held inside the atmosphere. And that's a good thing because it keeps the temperature of the Earth within certain boundaries, keeps it relatively constant and livable. But the problem is this thin layer of atmosphere is being thickened by all of the global warming pollution that's being put up there. And what that does is it thickens this layer of atmosphere. More of the outgoing infrared is trapped. And so the atmosphere heats up worldwide. That's global warming. Now, that's the truth.
Well, because of global warming, the need for electric cars has risen, but lots of people are critical of the idea. And so, are electric cars better than conventional gas cars? Let's look at the cost. Electric cars are generally more expensive than conventional gas cars, but are much cheaper to run and are low maintenance compared to conventional cars. And some countries like the UK who have grants for people who buy electric cars, which can help with those higher purchase prices. Now, let's talk emissions and greenhouse gases. Electric vehicles don't have combustion engines, so they don't release any emissions directly into the atmosphere. But to power the car to move, you still have to use emissions to create that electricity. Well, actually, it doesn't always use emissions, as it depends on where you live and the supplier of the electricity. As to charge your electric vehicle, you could use up to 102 grams of carbon per kilometer, but if your supplier is green energy, you could use zero. And while using a conventional gas car, you could be using approximately 20 grams of CO2 per kilometer. There is a common misconception that because of electric cars' batteries, it makes them worse. This isn't true. Manufacturing electric cars' batteries does create more greenhouse gases than conventional car manufacturing, but on average, over the lifespan of the vehicles, the electric cars will create a lot less emissions than a conventional car. To prove this, the Victorian government in 2012 commissioned a study which shows that the low emissions that electric cars produce vastly outweigh the increased production emissions through its lifespan, and the impacts from disposal don't matter as there is expected rate of the material being recycled. So to conclude, are electric cars better? Yes, electric cars are better than conventional cars. They're cheaper to run and have little emissions. They are more sustainable to manufacture, which also makes them better for the environment. Yet, on the other hand, they do have higher purchasing prices than conventional cars and a shorter driving range, but over the span of the vehicle's life, they are cheaper and better for the environment, making electric vehicles better than conventional gas vehicles.